Hello. Mic test. Hello, guys. If you can hear my voice. Hello, guys. If you can hear my voice. Yep. At least at my end, it is working fine. So hopefully you can also hear it. And of course, do not forget to let me know in the comment section. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending upon the time zones you guys are in. And welcome to the 63rd edition of the Trading Opportunities webinar. And let's get done with the legalities very quickly. So here on screen is a disclaimer suggesting all content presented is for purely educational purposes. I'm not soliciting buy or sell. If you do go on to use the views presented here for your trading or investing, you yourselves will be liable for your profit loss or loss of profit. Rest of it you can read by yourselves. And very quick introduction, guys. My name is Nirav. I'm the admin and owner of the website 50 Eyes Market Analysis, where I have been publishing my views, courses, etc., for so many years. And I'm also the admin of the YouTube channel 50 Years Market Analysis, where we are currently broadcasting the 63rd webinar. In the last 61 webinars, we have been able to catch 76 trading opportunities. 76 plus. I'm just telling the big moves, 76 big moves we have been able to catch. We will see what happened of our last webinar, which is the second 60-second one in today's session. All right. With that being said, let's quickly give you a quick outlook of some other things. I'm also the author of the book, as you can see, available on Amazon, Think with the Markets. And I also have a track record of all the forecasts, just like this one, which we have produced previously. This is the forecast accuracy page on my website, 50years.com/forecast accuracy. And you can see since 2016, we have had an accuracy of 80% plus. I can just keep scrolling up. And of course, all of this is publicly verifiable because all of these webinars and videos are uploaded on YouTube. And you can just scroll down and check what I'm saying, where I'm saying. These are the dates, the instrument name, and analysis, etc. With that being said, let me just quickly run down how we'll be progressing with this webinar. We will be first discussing Euro USD, followed by crude, gold, S&P, Nifty, and at the end we'll discuss Bitcoin. And yeah, guys, one important thing I actually forgot to discuss it in the last webinar. I have released a very important update in the course. It's actually the last module, and I have in that module discussed my actual trades where I was able to make 120% profits intraday. And this kind of content I consider high quality content, so I'm not sure how long I will keep it there. So while it is there, those who are enrolled in the course, jump in there and have a look at it. So with that out of the way, let's get started with the actual webinar. And first here on screen, we have the chart of Euro USD. Let me see. Okay, thank you, Fraser, for letting us know. And again, I believe you are already enrolled in the course, so do make sure you check out the newly added section, Fraser. Okay, so as I was saying, we'll just now discuss the chart of first Euro USD here on screen, as you can see. So Euro USD, when we discussed last time, since then I have made some small changes here. Most importantly, what I have changed is the fact that we are now looking at it as a simpler correction, basically a zigzag kind of correction. So before we discuss that, let me give you a quick outlook of the whole picture. So this is our point of reference or the starting point of this analysis around 0.95391, and we have currently what looks like a or 1 over here. And as soon as this wave got completed, we started a correction. Currently, it looks like we may be progressing in a flat kind of correction, and actually I'm quite certain that this is a corrective structure to the sideways movement. Basically, the few points worth noting here are like this. First of all, a flat correction would look something like this. Right? First leg down, we call it an A. The next leg up, we call a B, and the next leg down is a C. Now, the thing is, we have some clarification which we need for this B wave. As you can see, I have labeled it here, and also a possibility that it might be continuing. So let's quickly check what I'm suggesting. with that. Actually, 1 second, let me see one thing here. Nope. So the main possibility which I'm thinking here is that perhaps this B wave is continuing, right? The second idea is that maybe it is complete over here, right? If it is complete over here, then we can see a straight down movement for wave C. And once the wave C is complete, then we will see an upward movement. So that's basically suggesting we will be looking for longs as per our hypothesis one after a downward movement. The second idea is, by the way, I just said I think the B completion here would suggest downward and then upward. Second idea is that it is still continuing for the wave B. That means it is not going to go like this. Instead, we will see a movement in the upward direction first, which will complete the wave B, for which I am of the understanding that we will see a resistance around 1.223. Somewhere around here, we will see a completion of the wave B. It is, if it is still continuing, after which we will expect a downward movement for the wave C, which should then be followed by the next leg up. So as per our hypothesis 2, we are looking for longs again, right? In case of hypothesis 1, we were looking for downward movement, then followed by upward movement. In the cases of hypothesis 2, we are looking for upward movement followed by downward movement and then upward movement. So in a swing perspective, we are overall looking for longs. So that's one thing we need to keep in mind. And since that is the case, it's better to look for only one kind of trades, which will be, if there's a pullback, we will look for long. If there is not a pullback and the market takes out the recent high of 1.10847, then we will enter immediate longs as for the target of 1.223. Let me know, guys, if you are clear on this chart. If not, just type in any question you might be having before we head over to our next chart of CL or crude oil. So Arun, we'll be discussing Nifty after we discuss the commodities and after S&P. So basically 3 more charts before we reach there. But the important analysis is kind of being said for the last year. Thank you for the confirmation here, Fraser. Let's now head over to our next chart of CL. Now, CL, last time we discussed, I was suggesting, by the way, this is the same count. Nothing really has changed here. So let's see what we were saying the last time. Two basic possibilities here. The first one being that the wave X is complete here, which should then be followed by the wave Z in the downward direction. And it may seem as if the wave Z is complete here. That's our first possibility. This suggests that the market will just go up. Let's call this our hypo 2. Hypo 2 is suggesting straight upward movement. All right. Second possibility is, let's call this one hypo 1. It's suggesting that either this X is continuing as a flat or possibly as a triangle. Whichever the case may be, it will see one more leg down. We already have determined the targets last webinar, 56.8. Man, that is too low. But technically, it is what it was coming out. Let's say around 57. So what this this hypo 1 is suggesting is that if the wave X completes as a flat, let me just redraw the whole thing. This is our point of reference around the price level of 64.190. So if the wave X completes as a flat, which will be something like this, then this market will go lower again. If it's continuing as a triangle, then again we will see something like this as soon as the wave E completes here for the 57 level, right? So long story short, we are expecting sideways to bearish movement in our hypothesis one. So that brings to the conclusion both of the analyses are pointing in different directions. I personally think there is a possibility of a short-term opportunity here. Let's check that out. Now, if this market is heading up or if it's continuing as a triangle, in both of these cases, this level will be taken out, which is currently standing around 73.52. So above 73.52, I'll place an alert here actually. Above this level, I will be interested in taking a short-term long trading opportunity on this counter. And the idea will be to wait for at least a zigzag in the other direction. So if we assume that the market is going up from here itself, from this low itself, then we will measure this leg and measure the or project the 1:1 level for the other leg. I do not expect it to go to 1:1 level. So we can take 50% as our target. That is, if this leg has gone up whatever many points, we can project 50% of it from here as our minimum target and 1:1 as our maximum target in the short term. So there's a long trading opportunity on crude oil. Do keep an eye on it. Keep it in your watch list. I believe it will give us a good trade. Even if this one not plays out in a small amount of time, it should become clear sideways or whatever, and it should then reveal a very good trading opportunity. That's about it for this discussion. Let me know, guys, if you have any queries before we head over to gold, followed by S&P, then Nifty, and eventually Bitcoin. Fraser, Arun, and I see there are a total of 10 people live right now, but participation in chat is not that much. Thank you, Fraser, for the confirmation. Now let's head over to our chart of gold. Nothing at all, literally, like it is just doing what it was doing the last time. And I'll just quickly run you down what I have here as our analysis is that a possible C leg down is remaining. And the C leg down means that at the very minimum, the market will go lower than this red channel. It should be broken to the downside. And the market should go at least 5 legs lower, as you can see over here, like a impulse or possibly a diagonal. So none of that has happened. And the triggers were that aggressive traders can go short or will look for short below this yellow trend line, right? And conservatively speaking, the red trend line is there, but it would be too late. So I had an alert placed somewhere in the middle around 1970. Still, the picture remains the same. Ideal setup, we will look for the market to break the red trend line. And if we can see a retest of this trend line, that will be most ideal setup for re-entry or new entry of shorts, followed by the remaining wave 3 and wave 5 down. So just keep an eye out on it and keep your alerts on, and hopefully it will give us something in the coming sessions. And it might take some time because we are analyzing it on the daily chart here. All right. Nothing new to add here. So I'll just move on to the next chart of SPX, which will be followed by our analysis of Nifty 50. Thank you for letting me know, Fraser. S&P, last time when we discussed this chart, the analysis was that, one second, let me push it there. From this point of reference, which is around the price level of 3807, yeah, 3807 point something something, we seem to have completed an impulse till here, which is at the price level of 4189. And from here on, the most bullish scenario was that wave 2 is already complete here, which actually does not look correct. And the other scenario was that the 2 is continuing and will go down, taking out the low at once at least, which will be taking it below 4049. And then it will take off for the upside. So what I have right now is a possibility that this might be a diagonal structure here for a wave A. This might be continuing sideways for a complex structure maybe, or maybe even a flat is continuing. I don't really know. So I don't think that the B can be placed here is the precise count. Maybe the B is continuing is that's what I'm thinking. But whenever the B is complete, either somewhere within this range or a little bit above it, I expect that leg down for weaves C here is still remaining, right? So long story short, if I draw the arrows, I'm thinking something like this might take place or something like this. So swing perspective, it is a long from swing perspective, but short term wise, it is actually unclear what this market is doing. I personally feel that we can look for long trading opportunities short term wise, like intraday longs above 4155, because this possibility exists above 4155. But other than that, it is quite unclear. So I personally think I'll just place an alert here for that possibility. If it plays out, I will not want to miss it. And secondly, below what is this 4088 level, I will reevaluate the chart and look for possible short setups. This one is not confirmed, so I'll just keep it for analysis purpose, not firing a trade signal here. So with that being said, I think we are covered here on S&P. Let's move over to the chart of Nifty. If you guys have any questions, I'll just wait for a few seconds. You can just type it in the comment section or let me know if you are clear on this chart. Yeah, there is one thing I wanted to let you guys know that I am thinking of starting a private group. You will most likely hear from me within this week, right? And if you are not already, just go ahead and subscribe to the emailing list. Where is this email subscription? Obviously, it's free, and I'll send you an email if I do start within this week. I'm thinking of using Discord, and I'm not sure what system of admitting the members should I use. I'm still thinking on it, and maybe we will go with the what do you call invite only system. So only the people who are in the emailing list will receive the invites. Again, I'm not 100% sure, but that might be one of the systems. I'm still exploring those possibilities. So in any case, just go and subscribe to the emailing subscription if you are interested in becoming a part of this group. And I'll be looking to post my analysis and trades in the group and see how we can take it from here, from there. All right. So that's about it for the small announcement I had. Let's now head over to the chart of Nifty 50, where we think something interesting is happening actually. So this is also the chart I have posted in the thumbnail of this webinars. So let's head over and see what's happening here. First of all, here on screen, let's start our analysis from this point of reference, which is around the price level of 16,828. Right. Nice to see you here, Pradeep, and thank you for the confirmation. Thank you, Fraser, for the confirmation. Okay, getting back to our analysis of Nifty, what I think is happening here is we were, by the way, we were able to capture parts of this upward movement. You can check the past webinar. We have discussed it. Specifically, we were able to capture this one. So now what I'm seeing here is there is a possibility that this might be a ending diagonal, right? And those of you not familiar with the Elliott Wave patterns, you may call this a wedge pattern, but there is a strong difference between those things. Now I'll just tell you what really is happening here and what are the, what do you call, consequences of something like this. This is the 2-4 trend line. Okay. So first of all, ending diagonal is generally a ending pattern as is suggested by the name ending diagonal. Secondly, if it really is an ending diagonal, then we can expect a strong movement. What the hell is happening with the mouse? Are you guys seeing like multiple pointers on the screen? Anyways, getting back to a discussion, if this really is the diagonal structure which we think it is, then most likely what happens in these kinds of scenarios is the market will open gap down and it will open gap down below the trigger level. So in this particular case, the trigger level is this trend line. So on Monday, we expect if this is the ending diagonal that this market will open lower than the trigger level, which is this trend line, right? And then it should continue heading lower. Okay. So if on Monday we find that there is a gap down below the trigger line, and it has not already like open gap down somewhere here, like it is not a very big gap, then we can look to enter shorts. And actually the most aggressive traders are already in. That's actually I was even discussing this whole setup with the group right before the market closes. So I know for a fact most people who are interested in playing out this trade are already short. Now coming back to the possibility of the people who are not in, as I said, below the trend line is red, and the market should not at any point close above the trend line. It might do it on, let's say, a 5-minute chart once or twice, but on a higher time frame, it should not close, let's say, deep within it. That would be a sign that this setup has possibly failed. Okay, so these are the ways below the trend line, right? And the market should not close within the trend line. These are what we will be looking for the setup on Monday. Now coming to the targets, aggressive targets will be between somewhere between this zone, 17,750 to 17,570 something level. Let me just write it down here. Now, at the very minimum, we already have an impulse. So correction is already pending, right? So maybe that's the start of that correction. And to check the 50-60 retracement levels, let me just quickly plot it here. So these are the standard fib ratios, which we generally do expect will be seen in the market in case of a proper 50-60 correction. Okay. These are even lower, so I'm not even going to write them down because our initial target already itself is quite big. Okay, so that is the quick outtake I have on Nifty. And not to mention, if you are unaware somehow, then we have the election results on Saturday. So Karnataka elections are kind of important. The volatility of that day's moment will be seen on Monday. So this kind of pattern is not out of the ordinary for such a situation. Actually, diagonals do have a tendency to form near the news events. So just keep in mind it will be a volatile day. So those of you looking to buy options, your what do you call premiums will be higher. And as soon as the volatility decreases, you might see 10, 20, 30% decrease in the value. So keep an eye on for this setup, and let me know, guys, if there is any doubts, questions, queries before we head over to our last chart of BTC. Thank you for the confirmation. It looks like nobody has any doubts here. So let's head over to our last chart. Actually, BTC itself is sort of forming a clear trade setup. So let's quickly look at that. Thank you, Fraser, for the confirmation as well. Here is BTC. Hello, Naveen Navi. Pink waving. So it is interpreting the code for the emoji you have drawn. That's interesting. So now heading to BTC chart. Let me quickly write down. And again, guys, if you have missed it, those interested in becoming a part of the group, do subscribe to the mailing list. Very quickly pointing it out, it's over here on the website. Just go to 50s.com and on the top you will find it. So I'm thinking of making exclusive invites only to those subscribed. So now getting back to the actual analysis. So Bitcoin, last time when we discussed the count, we said it very clearly that we are not interested in longs unless the market gives a correction. These are the discuss we already. These are the levels we already discussed. 25,500. Sorry, 25,333 to 2399 to, let's say, 24. Right. Again, I'm using the data feed of Bitstamp. So if you are using a different data feed, do check it at your end. So in this section, as we were discussing, I'm saying we are not interested in any longs until and unless the market really does complete the correction to the downside, and it is giving a very, very clear corrective structure at this point in time, right? It is giving a down and a ABC flat, what it seems like. The second possibility is that perhaps the B is already complete here. If it's really strong bearish movement, and the market will just jump inside the target zone, which we just mentioned and we have already plotted. But the main possibility is that this market will again go back within this range for the C, which I have already posted here on screen. And once this movement completes, then we will head down. So one thing to note here is very interesting that if the market really does do the whole drama as we expect it to, then as soon as it goes higher for the wave C completion, we have a short setup. We can just push an alert below the low. Let's say it goes higher. Let me remove this for a second. Let's say it goes higher right away from here. Then we can add a alert line over here. And as soon as the market heads back lower than this level, we can enter shorts for this mentioned target, right? 24,000 to 25,333. So Bitcoin definitely something, if you trade it, keep it above in your watch list, as we expect it might give us a very, very good possible sell setup, right? Let me know, guys, if you have any questions or queries in regards to this particular discussion. If not, do let me know by typing in clear. Naveen is asking, can you explain use candlestick patterns to enter a trade? Naveen, you can use them, but it's a well-known fact that candlestick patterns have accuracy of less than 50%. So not sure why would you use them. But yes, they can be part of your entire setup. Like if you have something else, you can just mix it up with the candlestick patterns, and you can form a setup based on that. All right. But I use advanced Elliott Wave concepts followed by my own proprietary studies, so I will not be guiding you on such things. It looks like we have Fraser saying clear. Thank you for the confirmation, Fraser. Good. Yeah, Naresh, as I said, go ahead and subscribe to the emailing list, email subscription. I haven't quite figured out if it should be what do you call invite only. If it's an invite only, then I'll just send a limited number of invites to those who are subscribed to the emailing list, and only they will have the privileges to send, let's say, plus one invite to their friends or colleagues, or it should be open. I'm still debating on that, but whatever the case, maybe just subscribe to the mailing list and you will hear the update very soon. Let me see if there's anything else. You're welcome, Naveen. So it looks like with this, we have completed all our discussions, and I did not see any further questions here. So yeah, I think we have already made the announcements. So guys, see you soon, right? And again, as I said, join the mailing list to get the updates. Hopefully, it will be a new interesting project very soon. Talk to you guys soon, guys. Take care.